Okay, I think we are recording. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome once again to the channel. My name is Mars Molina, and I am a professor of yoga and spirituality and all things that have to do with spiritual wisdom. In particular, in this channel, you will find, of course, a lot of information regarding how to best practice, how to best meditate, Vedic astrology, and many other things that support us in our journey towards finding our true self-expression, and bringing that as practical tools that will allow us to live a life of harmony inside and outside. And today, I want to talk about an upcoming transit. I actually just finished a reading just a few minutes ago, and it came up during the meeting. So I figured, okay, why don't we talk about it since I feel pretty fresh on it. So I am sharing my screen here, and I hope I am doing this well because I'm using Zoom clips today. And let's see if I can manage everything properly. Hopefully, I am, and this is making sense to what I want to show. So, okay, the transit that I want to talk today is about Mars. As you may know, Mars is an important planet in Vedic astrology. Its real name in Vedic astrology is Mangal. And it is a planet that represents vitality, impulse. It is the planet of fiery passion, it is a planet of war, but it is a planet that wants to give us all this power, all this energy, not for cruelty, not for mere competition, but for something even greater. Because the real name of this planet in Sanskrit, which is Mongol, also means that which is splendorous. It means splendor. So it wants to give us this vitality so that we can make our life splendorous. But the way it gives us that is again through an energy that is highly competitive, highly powerful, uh, and that wants to give us development. Think about your body, for example. If you want your body to be splendorous, you need vitality. You need to do certain actions, and that means exercising. That means going to the gym, going to work out, going to do some hatha yoga, things like that. So you need that Mars thing to make the body splendorous. So this transit that is upcoming will bring Mars, that energy of splendor, of potential, into the sign of Libra. And I'm putting the dates in the screen. Hopefully I can edit the video the way I'm intending to, but the dates are September 13th all the way to October 27th. So you have a bit of time to prepare for this one. I normally make these videos a little bit later, closer to the transit. But like I said, I just finished this reading and it's very fresh in my mind, so I figured, why the heck no? So September 13th to October 27th is when this transit is taking place. So what is actually happening? I have it here on the screen. I am using a Aries chart as an example. Again, this is Vedic astrology. I know this is Aries, but it might as well just say Mesha here, which is in Sanskrit. So this is going to make more sense to you if you have had a reading with me in the past or with any Vedic astrologer, or you've already checked out what your Vedic astrology chart looks like. And if you want to see what that looks like, you can go to my website, and there I have links where you can download an app, and you can also go to a website if you don't want to use an app, and you can see what your chart looks like. Also, in this very same YouTube channel, maybe 1 2 weeks ago, I recorded and uploaded a video in which I explain how to look at your Vedic astrology chart, so you know what I'm looking at, you know what I'm talking about, and you'll know what this video means for you. Why? Because this video, I'll talk about the transit of the sign of Mars, the planet of Mars, I'm sorry, into the sign of Libra. What this will mean for everyone in the world, but also what it can mean for you based on your ascendant of Vedic astrology. So if you look at your chart and you can detect which ascendant you are in Vedic astrology, you'll hear me talk in this video about what it's going to mean for you. So let's go ahead and get started and see what we have in store today. So here I'm starting with the Aries chart. Let me just delete all of this because you're not going to need any of that for the time being. But here, this is the Aries chart. And this sort of, I forgot the word in English, carmesí, kind of dark red. This is the planet Mars, and it's been transiting different signs as we go along in the year, right? Right now, it is leaving almost the sign of Virgo, and it is about to enter the sign of Libra in the dates that I mentioned earlier. In general, what is this going to mean for everyone, for the world? You see, like I mentioned, Mars brings this military power, rhythmic nature of let's go, let's do, let's acquire, let's fight, let's do these things so we can achieve splendor and spiritual growth through that vitality. It is a highly confrontational side, but like I explained also during the reading, confrontation is not bad. Confrontation is necessary. And of course, confrontation can also lead to conflict. But even conflict can be sometimes necessary to understand why are we having conflict to begin with. It is usually something in which the expression of our values does not see face to face, but the values underneath may be very similar, actually. But it is entering into the sign of Libra. So what does that mean? Libra will, of course, influence all the things that have to do with businesses, association, relationships, partnerships. Uh, when you deal face to face with a person, when you deal one to one with any type of situation and confrontation, Libra is, of course, ruled by the sign of Venus. And Venus brings a lot of beauty to life. And notice how Mars brings splendor, but Venus brings beauty. The beauty, the passion of Venus is a little bit different to Mars. The beauty and passion of Mars is a little bit more raw, more primal. The sexual energy of Mars is a little bit more aggressive. It's definitely more masculine. But the sexual energy of Venus, it's a little bit more feminine. It can also encompass both sides because it also represents, Venus represents also the sexual fluids, in particular semen. So it also has that ability of creation. So you bring these two energies together, and you can imagine how fired up things can get. You will find that relationships get, of course, very passionate, very hot-headed, very aggressive, very sexual. And I don't mean this in any negative way, right? It can bring invigoration to relationships as well. If you meet a partner during this period, or actually if you meet any person that has some type of Mars-Venus conjunction, especially if you have them in the fourth or seventh house, you may find that they are extremely hot-headed in relationships, very fiery in the bedroom. So these things are coming together. But Libra also, like I mentioned, deals with all things partnership. You will find people who fell in love with a business associate or a coworker, or maybe they're bringing their partner into their business as well. So these blurred line experiences can also come. However, Libra, if you think of the shape of Libra, which is the uh, oh, I forgot the word in English. Oh, this measuring tool that they use for law and fairness and in the markets. I'm sure you know which one I am. The shape, the symbol of Libra, also means courthouse. It rules fairness. It's also, well, the law. So this is when we can start understanding more about Libra, that even though it is ruled by Venus, it is also very close to Saturn. You could say that Saturn is almost there as, let's say, co-ruler of the sign of Libra, to put it shortly. And what you may find is also in this period, legal agreements can lead to arguments, but also arguments can be solved through legal agreements. So it is a period in which you will see a lot of lawsuits. I anticipate that in the world, themes of lawsuits relating to arguments will take place. Themes of arguments leading to lawsuits, lawsuits leading to arguments, arguments getting resolved by lawsuits, lawsuits getting resolved by confrontation. Maybe you didn't need to sue that person. Maybe you didn't need to do a contract and sign that prenup. Maybe just you needed to confront it, or maybe the confrontation will allow you to sign the prenup and just be at peace with it. Just an example off the top of my head. So you will see these things coming to life a lot. You will also find that diplomacy gets very fired up. And again, this can be very positive or very negative. It really depends on the people involved. If people get very hot-headed and very passionate, then yes, the diplomacy between countries and law can really crumble. Because then again, there's this energy of confrontation, of fighting that can come into play. So as you can see, during this period, there's going to be a lot of vitality in these realms, partnerships, association, legal matters. all of this. So in this period, uh, it is important that you check, double check, triple check every contract that you sign. Because when Mars is looking at this, it can also mean that you get cheated on the contract. Okay, so it is very important to read the fine print and make sure that you're reading in detail and that you understand. Luckily, today we have many tools and many ways to access this. We have the internet. So if you have a contract that you want reviewed, you can literally find a lawyer anywhere in the world and ask for a consultation. You can also use ChatGPT and say, okay, break this down for me. And it can help you understand what legal agreements you are signing. So that's something that I would strongly, strongly recommend. And ideally, you want to navigate this energy well, right? You want to understand, okay, how do I use the power, seduction, and prosperity and beauty that brings Venus with this other power, this really strong vitality and military rhythm of hard work that comes from Mars, and we pour them together in the same area where Saturn, which is fairness and service and also discipline, comes together in all of this. So it can be a really transformative, really powerful process that can overcome a lot of challenges. I would say this is a chance for a lot of people who are dealing with delays, heaviness, sadness, depression, lack of health, lack of vitality, stagnation to come out of it. So I want to go through each sign and tell you what I foresee that it can make. This combination, what it can make for you in your life, and if any other insights or spiritual disciplines or practices come to me to give you. But I hope you understand the energies that are coming here. So it's a boost. And already in readings, we can already see how this is happening. Just today, the reading that I just finished, it's about this. And the person is literally starting a business with their partner, and they need to assert all these boundaries. And it's a very successful thing, I am sure, that they are building together. And it's really exciting to see that. Also, if you hear some snoring in the background, it is not me. And it's also, I'm just taking care of a friend's dog, and she's, she likes snoring a little bit, but it's part of her charm. So let's take a look at each sign. And maybe while I was talking, I should have made this a little bit larger and then to turn you more with my face. I don't know, people, but let's go through each sign and see what we see. So I want to start, of course, with Aries. So for Aries, as you can see, Mars will be transiting Libra. That's, of course, in your seventh house. So what I mentioned already, that's going to apply to you. In particular, if you're married, you'll see it a lot with your relationships. Relationships will need legal matters to be attended. You will need to sign prenups, or you'll be offered a prenup, and you may fight about it. Or because of the fights, then a legal matter needs to come to the surface. It is also a good time to settle things. It is a time in which I anticipate a lot of couples breaking up, a lot of marriages dissolving, divorces happening, right? I did speak about relationships and legal matters, and if you put two and two together and confrontation, yes, the theme of divorce can be there. Or maybe a person needs to get divorced in order for them to actually be with the person that they want to be with, or be in the realm that they want to be with, and do the business that they want to do. So a lot of energy invested into that. But also on a more positive note, perhaps, is that you will find that if your partner has been a little bit stagnant, a little bit slower, a little bit heavier in their mind, and maybe going through some difficulties or some depression, you may find that they find a better rhythm and they overcome depression. They feel a little bit more vital. Maybe they join the gym or a yoga class or a Pilates. How do you say that in English? Pilates? Pilates? English is so weird sometimes, but they may feel more of that vitality. And of course, if you want to really harness that, then you increase the passion. You support that. You bring more acknowledgement to that. You bring more awareness into that, and of course, you create rules about how that can take place. So let's move on to Taurus. Okay, so for Taurus, what you will see is that, of course, Mars is entering Libra in your sixth house. So this is a great opportunity for you to redo the law of agreements that you've had with maybe anything involving the business. So you may find in this period that obstacles, roadblocks, impediments, things that slow down, things that just fell through, whether it was business, health, social, or any type of association agreement that you had that was just falling through, this is your chance to bring new law, new vitality, review those boundaries, see if there is something perhaps in your health that you need to be more disciplined with, maybe your diet, maybe there's something along those lines. But it's also a chance for you to do some good business if you decide to set new law. And this new law, this new vitality, I would recommend also that it involves a lot of giving back to the community, making people also healthier, contributing. You may feel a little bit like holding and hoarding things because you may feel, well, maybe I won't have as much for next month, so maybe I shouldn't help this person or donate my time. But no, you should do the opposite. You should extend and trust that. Sorry, just some random noise over there. But I am unafraid because I am with Hanuman and see, that's an omen. Like, why am I going to be afraid? See, the dog's going to check it now. Whatever it is, I'm not worried because I am with Hanuman. So be like that. Be uh, in faith of knowing that you can move forward and that there is something else coming. So that's what I would say for Taurus. Let's take a look at our next sign, which is Gemini. And of course, Libra for you will be in your fifth house. So a few things that come to mind there is that you may also have this as a good chance to reestablish uh, how you behave with authorities, maybe with your father, maybe with the government. It is also how you behave as an authority. And if you've been following my conversation for a while, you did know that I spoke about how there's this confusion that can come in recent transits with Gemini. So it is a good opportunity for you to clear your head and work in a very clear way and say, all right, well, let me see what I can figure out about myself. Let me see what I can figure out about the world as an authority. So, how did you become an authority? Who are you already the authority of? In what way are you communicating to people? In what way are you communicating with children? And speaking about that, I did record a video recently, not long ago, which I labeled Children Are Listening. And I talk about how important it is that you are aware of the way you are talking to children. The way that you talk to children reveals a lot about yourself, and you're influencing children in a very, very deep way. It is also a good time for you to set good boundaries in the way you're having fun. So if you're overdoing it, maybe playing too many video games, maybe doing too much, dilly dallying, it might be a good chance for you to cut that and focus more on things that can contribute to your fun in the longer term. Maybe you can enjoy a whole marathon of just playing video games in the weekend if you reduce the amount of playing video games that you do through the week, and then you have better harmony for you to do the things that you need to do in the week, right? That's just an example that came off the top of my mind. So that is what I would recommend for you. Let's keep going and enter the sign of Cancer, which is interestingly happening in the fourth house. So for Cancer people, of course, that means that things need to be reviewed in home. It also involves your relationship with your diet, your relationship with your mother, your relationship with your grandmother, your relationship to liquids. Are you drinking? Are you not drinking? What are you drinking? Are you drinking alcohol? Are you drinking coffee? Are you drinking tea? Are you drinking too many concoctions that you make? Are you becoming one of those kombucha ladies and only taking these things and that's all you want to drink? But perhaps you don't realize that it has alcohol, which is one of the prevalent carcinogens that we have out there. You can call it kombucha all day long, but it still has alcohol to some degree. Um, so you need to watch your diet, you need to watch what you drink, you need to watch your health in that way, the time that you spend at home, and how are you breaking out of your shell to spend time outside without overdoing it. It is also a great time for you sexually. So if you have a romantic partner, it is a good chance for you to explore that area with you. How are you sharing that energy in the bedroom? It's also a very beautiful part, but it is also a beautiful part spiritual. So this is why spirituality and sexuality can be so close knit together. It's a good time also to increase the way in which you move. Are you okay, little one? You move your sexual energy into a spiritual direction. Are you suffering? Are you okay? you're gonna be okay. She wants some attention. Maybe the way that you need to give attention to your loved ones, to your pets, to the creatures in your homestead, to the plants that you water needs to be reviewed. So I would say keep all that in mind. And it's also a good time to spend time again with mother, grandmother, and work on those relationships. All right, for Leo, you already know the deal. Look how Mars goes into the third house, which is many things, but what immediately comes to my mind is communication, it's siblings, it is peers, it is friends, it is the friends that become co-workers, it is the co-workers that become your friends and peers and associates in that closer, more intimate circle, not the outer circle and not the partner. That kind of in-between place where you have, yes, your best friend, your associates, all these things that are kind of there in that middle space. Now, they're also not your family, except if they are your siblings. So this is where you will find vitality. You may find that it is a chance for you to bring vitality into these people. Maybe you'll see that some of your friends were feeling a little bit depressed, and maybe you can bring more vitality to them, or they will just simply have vitality. It is, of course, a beautiful time for you to be active with them. Go on hikes, go on walks. I always say Leo and their mountains, Leos. You should go on a hike. You should go to the mountains. This is good for you. So it is a good time to practice that. I would even go as far as saying that if you want to consult someone about something important in your life, ask them to go on a hike with you or to a mountain. So let's say that you need to consult a close friend who's a lawyer about something. You know, let's go. I'll buy you a drink. Let's just go for a hike. I'll buy you brunch. Let's go for a hike and talk about it. If you also need to counsel someone, do it on a hike as well. This is my recommendation to you. Do this, and you will see a lot of great success. But I also do recommend doing a short distance travel for that could be good. But ideally, if you're not the one driving, be careful of roadside stuff, roadside assistance, roadside accidents, all of this. I want you to be careful with this. Be careful with your car. Do not travel unless your car is in perfect condition for that. And it is a good time for you to work hard. This is why you need to consult things, because this is the time in which you need to work really hard. You may also get into a lot of arguments, and you may even argue about the direction in which the world is headed. If you have kids, you may argue with your kids a lot. Actually, check if this is true. If you have kids that are in the age of playing video games or playing with toys, are they going to buy? Tell me if this is true in the comments. Once this transit happens, are they going to buy toys or video games that have to do with weapons? Maybe they download like Call of Duty, or maybe they start playing that in their phone. Whether you like it or not, that's not what I'm after. I'm just trying to see if that is playing out because I see it in the chart, in that prediction. Or maybe they want to get a Nerf gun or a water gun and themes of that nature. But you also will be fighting a lot. I would say for you, it is a good idea to take a very conscious and spiritual trip to an archery range, a shooting range, one of those things where you throw axes. Maybe get that out of your system and don't do it against anybody, please. So for Virgo, it's gonna go into your second house. So that tells us a lot about your communication, your family life, family values. It may also have something to do with your father. It is also a good time to talk about heritage. So talk to lawyer. What's going on about who's keeping what, in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years down the line. How are the properties and the assets that you have as a family going to get distributed or not? It is important to have these conversations and not to beat around the bush for this area, for these things. It is good for you to, again, bring that vitality to your family and bring those boundaries with your family as well. It is a beautiful time for you to communicate boundaries and say, well, this is what I want, this is not what I want. How about we do this? And all in the intention of like, well, how do we bring enjoyment in life? How do we bring more into our future if we work together as a family? Particularly if you have a younger brother and, of course, with all your sisters, especially if you have younger sisters, it's an important time to not beat around the bush. have these conversations. This is what I recommend. Nothing else is coming to me except avoid arguments with your in-laws, father-in-law, mother-in-law. Be humble. Don't argue with them. And check out my other videos too, where I talk about who do you need to be humble with during the following period. And now, Libra, I'm excited for this one. Let's see, of course, because it goes into the first house. What's going to happen for you? I would love to hear from Libras once the transit comes and see if what I'm saying does turn out to be true or if they can share how it was for them. Because all the energies that I've been talking about, they are all converging in you. So you yourself may need a new discipline. You may join a gym or go to a hatha yoga class, or you may do something that is much more vital, much more physical. Uh, you may join a boxing class or Muay Thai, something like this, where you are in that realm. You may also find that if you're running away from arguments and necessary conflict and confrontation, it's just going to come to you. So if you decided not to go to a particular debate or discussion that was important to be had, on your way driving out of there, you're still going to encounter a situation. Maybe your car will break down. Someone will, knock on wood, nothing bad happens, but like a car situation or a transit situation, and that leads to an argument. Don't run from conflict. Don't run from your feelings. If you want to come out about your feelings, it is good for that. Remember, I don't mean to sound negative, but there's a lot of passion, a lot of spirituality, and a lot of beauty for that. So it is good for you to do this. If you are single as a Libra and you're trying to date someone, go do physical activity with them. Again, like I mentioned, go on a hike, go to the gym. That vitality can help you a lot. Break the ice. What is that? Some fireworks. So look, fireworks. The fire came up. So there is an omen about that. The possibility of fireworks, celebration, splendor, beauty, if you decide to put that energy, right? What happens in the firework is that we see the beautiful fiery flower in the sky or that spectacle of sound. But before that, there was a lot of iron at the bottom, containment, Saturn work. And you decided to put that energy there, you light up the spark, and then it goes up in smoke. And it's a lot about that. Of course, in this period, be very careful with how you behave with authorities, policemen, firemen. Don't get in trouble. Don't get into fights. It can lead to arguments and all kinds of things that I do not want for you. So please don't do that. Scorpio, you are coming out during this transit from spiritual possibilities. So you're coming out of retreat, or you may go into retreat mode. You may go that in this period, you are able to better balance out and do the juggling of, okay, what is the real world? What is the real spiritual world? Because that's the actual real world. And this, which we call the real world with, taxes and video games and social media and job and bills and family, that's not actually the real world. That is actually the illusion. There is a real world that is a spiritual world. How do I balance these two? How do I balance the commandments? How do I balance my spiritual life in this more tangible world, this mundane experience that I have? Mundane, not as something that is undesirable, but mundane means literally that which belongs to the world. So how do I balance these two things in a better way? In a way that will give me more harmony, more equilibrium. It is also a good time to explore sexuality and explore a deeper way for you to connect spiritually. In this period, not only may you go into retreat, but you may access things that are a little bit deeper. It is a perfect time for you to deepen your spiritual practice for sure. But it is best for you to do so in the company of a guide. So it is a period in which you may find a teacher. And I am happy for that because that's what I wish for you and each and every single one of you. And that is amazing as well during that period. Also, last thing I'll say, if you're in a relationship, partner will be working a little bit too much. So for Sagittarius, I would say what really comes to my mind is that you may find that you're kind of psychically disturbed from the online conversation. You may be psychically bothered by war. So be really careful with this. I try not to talk too much about this in social media because I'm trying to grow my platforms and I'm working really hard on my videos every week. And I'm, you know, I'm not posting as much as I'd like, but I'm creating content so that I can get someone to manage my social media, just give them all the content and they can help me be more regular. So there are things that I probably shouldn't say in social media. But let's say like this, if you are feeling very perturbed in your life, uh kind of bothered by the state of the world, then dial it down a little bit, dial down the social media, dial down the psychic invasion of what's going on in the world. I never mean to say that it's not important to be aware, but I want you all to know that the way news and media is distributed is not the best. You should know this. Very few people in social media are really conscious and trying to help you evolve and grow and make money and become happy and rich and beautiful and splendorous. There's people like that out there. I would say I am working my hardest to be that in my life and to share that with you. I have a lot of ambitions, right? I want to be very wealthy. I want to be a very developed human being emotionally, mentally, spiritually. And there's people like that in social media as well. Follow them. Be really careful of how you feel with the way other people are trying to make you feel. Be very, very careful with this. Aside from that, it is, however, a good time for you to connect with these proper individuals. Set good deadlines, good boundaries on the way you behave with social media. So outside of that, if you are in the fitness world, if you are in an active world, if you're very physically active, if you have stage presence, stage persona, it is a beautiful time for you to really understand what it means to be there out there in the stages of the world. You know, I spoke about this too. The way we view fame as humanity is changing, and it will continue to change. Celebrities will disappear. As we understand it, you already see this. Hollywood celebrities are not what they used to be, not just because of how they are becoming as people, but how we understand that as a concept. It's not what it used to be. It's a real fall from grace type situation. So I would say please watch out for that. Let's say maybe something more positive I can say is that if you really connect with what you really want for you in your life, instead of what's happening in the world, you can achieve that. It is a good time to put your energy into that and not waste time putting energy of like, look how crappy things can be in the world for someone that I've never met and I will never meet. And probably, I have no way to know if this is real or if this is really happening or if this person is even real. What rather should I do in the people that I am having an impact with? What am I doing with my community? What am I doing to the people that I need to serve? Because Saturn is looking at that 11th house there. So, who do you need to serve? Let me not sound like someone who says, don't worry about what's happening in the world, but do let me sound like that person that says, isn't there also something very important right around the corner that needs to be taken care of? Isn't there someone starving near you? There is. Isn't there someone crying near you? Isn't there someone that if you steer him in the right direction, they will not lose their morality and hurt someone else? Isn't there someone closer to you that needs a friend? That is my desire for Sagittarius. Uh, let's go into Capricorn. God, I hope my video is recording well because if I have to do all of this again, I'm going to be a bit tired. So, seventh house, seventh sign, 10th house. If you've been thinking about putting the law in the workplace, this is a time for you, my friend. It's a good time for you to exercise and exercise at home, but it is a great time for you to bring that vitality as you amp yourself at home, bring that vitality into the professional field. Have you been thinking about doing a business with your husband, your wife, your partner? This is the time for you to do that. It is also a great, excellent time for you to say, okay, well, what is the law that needs to be applied here? Am I not paying taxes? How do I really improve the way that I pay my taxes? What are the result of my paying taxes? Is there something I can get back? Do I need to crack down in the way I'm doing taxes, law, registration, renew all of this? Double check everything. Maybe you assume that your business credential does not need to be renewed, and then you wrote it down incorrectly or you didn't schedule it well. Do that. Consult lawyers, consult all of that sort of stuff. I also recommend for you to do some service, especially if you're in the field of law, business, contracts, agreements. If you're in these fields, do some pro bono work in the period that I gave at the beginning. I'll give it to you again. I'll be kind. I have it in my notes in front of me, September 13th to October 27th. That is a month and a half. You do once a week. That's 6 people that you give a pro bono session to. So if you're a lawyer, maybe just or a consultant, I know maybe the whole legal process, it's too long to do all pro bono. I don't know. But maybe you can give a consultation, right? And say, hey, I have a limit of 6 people that I can help. Make it 7 so that it sounds very spiritual and very beautiful, and do 1 extra one for the team. So that is what I would say for you, for sure. Anything else, Capricorn, coming to mind? You all are accessing my psychic field today. If you notice, when I talk about Capricorn, or any sign for that matter, if you're connecting with me and you really desire, more things will come. It doesn't matter if I'm recording this now and you watch it in 2 weeks from now. Time does not exist that way. So if you strengthen your desire for me to give you information, you'll notice that even the quality of my videos improve. And yes, I'm studying every day and I'm doing all these readings and all of it. But if you're watching this video, know that you're watching it with me here in the present. You're alive here with me. That is the real way things work. But anyways, that's beside the point. Aquarius, a time of spiritual discipline, a time to connect with your father, a time to advise your father and your spiritual teachers, if you have them, or the people that you revere, the people that you comply to, your figures of philosophy, spirituality, if they are the ones doing deals, father, guru, teacher, or people that you respect, if they are the ones doing legal deals, help them out. Please help them out. Someone's going to get tricked. Someone's going to get cheated on. Help them out. I knock on wood and cross my fingers that doesn't happen. But hopefully with your intervention, or if you can take their documents to ChatGPT or a lawyer, maybe there's something there, right? That needs to be looked at. Protect them, serve them. It is a good time to serve them. It is a good time to consult with your teachers. It is a good time for your spirituality. Very beautiful. It's a good time to connect with your father. Father may also feel a blooming sensation. Guru may also feel a blooming sensation of passion and spirituality. They will feel more virtue and more ability to bring splendor into other people's lives and your life as well. It is also, and this is, depending on your nakshatra, this may be more true, but bring flowers to your gurus. Bring flowers to your father's house, especially if you feel their energy rising, or if you feel conflicts rising, or just they feel like they're stronger spiritual even. You see, to become stronger spiritual, you need to increase a particular type of energy, and it's not pretty. Meditation is not rainbows and butterflies. You burn a fire inside of you so powerful that it burns the meditator when they're a real meditator. They burn them very hard, and when you bring flowers, it soothes them. You really help them. You really help them. So bring flowers to your guru, bring flowers to your teachers, and bring flowers to your father, especially if they're struggling with something, or if they find new passion, or again, you feel like their energy is just increasing. That's what I would say for Aquarius. And we are in the last sign, and I'm so glad because this is a way longer video than I expected, and I want to go have lunch. So Pisces, should we do Pisces or call it a day? Of course we're doing Pisces. What are you talking about? You can't not do Pisces. So For you, I want you to be very careful, to be very law-abiding citizen. Um, be very careful and be very conscious, be very aware of how things unfold around you, be very aware of, if you hear a police siren or a fire truck, that is your call to action of let me retrieve all my consciousness to me in this moment to make sure I'm really conscious, I am really aware. What do I need to be aware of in this moment? Be very, very en garde in that regard. Be careful with crime. Be careful with policemen, security guards, even the security guard at the mall or the airport. They want you to take off your shoes and your belt. Do it. Even if you're taking a trip, doesn't matter. They didn't do it to anybody else and they're doing it to you. Smile and say, my pleasure. Anything else? Be very compliant in this period. Trust me. In this period, also be very careful with anything that seems murky, dark, stagnant, or illegal. If it smells nasty, funky, it probably is. Okay? Be careful. Be careful with that. Be careful with people trying to trick you or trying to pull you into the wrong direction. And there's more to be seen depending on your chart, but also, and I know this, I sound like a broken record because I look at certain things and you have no idea, but I talk about clocks and I talk about walls sometimes and fans and pipes in the houses a lot. There's a reason for it. The house has a soul and it is connected to your soul as well. Even if you're traveling, I travel all the time and I've probably lived in more houses than the average person at this point because I've been traveling since I was a little kid, right? This is my karma. And even then, each house that I visit relates to my soul in some way. So when I look back at the years in my chart, I can see, okay, when this happened, what kind of house was I living in for how long? I can see certain themes. So I know I sometimes sound a little bit crazy, probably all the time, or a little bit like a broken record when I talk about like pipes and these things about the walls, whatever. But for you, there's a reason. There's a reason why I do this. And for you, Pisces, I want you to be careful with pipes, be careful with tubes, be careful with containers, things that are rotten and contained. Is there something rotten in your fridge, something forgotten and frozen? Is there something in your car's gas tank, in your home's boiler room, in the drainage, in the pipes? Please look into all of this, but don't do it yourself. Have someone do it for you. If you're a woman and you're in a relationship with a man, it is an excellent time for you to ask them to do it themselves. Don't do it. If you're a woman, don't do it yourself. Please, trust me. You try to fix yourself, you get a little shock, you get a little cut. I don't want that for you. And be very careful in the water. Please be very careful in the water. Oh my God, I sound so ominous. It Pisces. I apologize. I'll take a sip of water and see if I can say something more positive. Okay, that felt so good to drink some water. I do want to say some positive things for Pisces. It is a beautiful time for you to support the health of your partner and the people that they care about. So if they have someone that is sick, or if your own parents are sick, or your partner's parents are sick, it is a good time to support their health, to bring them some good medicine, some good healing, some good energy. It is good for you to do that. Whether they're going, your partner, through a health thing, again, or your parents or their parents of your partner, it is a good time to support their health. It is a good time to take a trip with the partner as well. Just like I mentioned, avoid being careless in the water. It is a good time to resolve conflicts of the law that has happened in the past. But if I want to finish on a more positive note, it is a beautiful time for you to deepen your spirituality and your ability to research and understand things at a deeper level. So if you've been trying to find that spiritual book that you can't find anywhere else, it's a great time to do that. So I wish you good luck at that. If you want to find that teacher that nobody knows where to find it, you want to take a pilgrimage and find it, it is a perfect time to do that for sure. Spend some good time with friends. It's going to be good for friends. So anyways, This video was way longer than I expected. It's already like 15 minutes. Maybe when I edit, it's a little bit shorter, but this is my message for you for the upcoming transit. I hope this helps. I want to thank you all so much when you send me messages about, hey, I saw your video and I like this, I like that, I like the edit, I like what you said. It helps me go through the transit a little bit better. I really appreciate it. But I also want to call you to action and ask you to please like the video, comment in the video, because that boosts the algorithm and it helps me out tremendous. You have no idea how much it helps. Like I don't know how to say it, people. But if you like the video and you comment and you subscribe, you hit that bell icon, and then you share the video, it's gonna help me so much. And especially if you feel, well, this video is helping me, you should be doing that as well. Because then, if this video helped you, that means that I'm really happy for that. I really am really happy for that. So let's say this video helped you. You're in a certain wavelength. You and me, there's something that connects us. But that means that the people in your circle can also very likely connect with this video. So when you like, comment, it helps a lot. And then you share the video. You share it with people, and it's going to help them, you know? So that's all I want to say for now. It is Sunday in afternoon. I will go edit this. I'm going to go have lunch and enjoy the rest of my afternoon. I wish you an amazing day ahead of you, whether you're starting the week or wrapping up the week. Thank you so much. Take good care of yourselves. Go watch my other videos, and we'll be in touch. See you all soon.